Podcast number 2. What is wrong with movies today?
You start.
We cater too much to asshole China
Okay.
and feminists
Yeah.
and LGBT, even though they take up, well, the Chinese take up a lot, but LGBTQ, gay, blah, blah, shit,
Yeah.
that takes up, there's only 0.6% of the population.
Yeah. And while
That's nothing.
and yes, and while like China on top of it is pretty dominant when you go on Netflix, there's a lot more like I guess you would say Chinese movies or not that Chinese propaganda, depending how you see it.
Yeah, don't fuck with that.
Yeah, it's yes, you can say like, oh, don't go on Netflix or don't watch any Chinese movies, but it's like we live in a pretty technological world, or not? We live in a world of the internet that there's some piece of it that goes some part of China, but you want to at least like limit it for the most part.
I rarely ever watch Chinese stuff.
Yeah.
There's this Taiwanese, big difference.
Yeah. Hong Kong,
but barely now.
Yeah, or
you only got a few more months of that.
Yeah, or not that Singaporean.
But that's not even China.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Chinese, but not China. But we cater too much.
Yes, and then when it comes to like LGBTQ movies, does like me.
Cringy.
Yeah, it's for the most part it's cringy because like always the main part of the movie is just like, oh, you have a gay character or you have a gay couple character, so it's kind of like it doesn't bring anything to the story unless like most of the case of the story is about their struggle about being gay in the world, but especially in the first world country. So it's like it's very different because if you were to do that in like in other parts of the world, keep in mind.
That makes sense.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense, but also keep in mind that some parts of the world you might be just getting executed,
stoned to death.
Yeah, stoned to death, or anything
corrected.
like. Yeah, or corrected. Correct. There's Christian correction camps for that.
Like Milo. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then also it's just that like that since like if that's so catered that like many parts of other movie gets thrown under. Or not that they don't get shown also, so it makes it harder for like new upcoming movie directors or any just budget film movies, who do want to like, that do like make movies and on the side or wherever it may be, that they just get left out, because again, the first thing you see is the first thing you're gonna watch.
No.
It's, again, think of it as like YouTube in some ways. It's all clickbait. So the first thing when you see is LGBTQ movies, that itself is clickbait.
Yeah, it's all just virtue signaling.
Mm-hmm. Which does nothing.
Like, I don't support it, and I don't watch the movies. I don't watch Chinese movies. It just, I first noticed it when we watched Transformers. And half the movie takes up in China, and everybody's wearing red, making that party look really good when we all know they're not good people. So, and everybody, every film was basically a Michael Bay film. Just explosions, praise China. Put a Chinese vase in a movie, and China will love it.
And keep in mind the first 2 Transformer movies had the U.S. flag on it too.
Yeah.
So
and after that went straight.
Yeah, it went straight downhill.
People are too worried about making money than supporting their own country.
Mm-hmm.
They're willing to bend over backwards, simping over China, so it's a little bit more money.
It's like although they themselves maybe are not gonna watch it for the most part.
No. Just like Mulan. They made Mulan for China, but Chinese did not like it.
Yeah.
They didn't even like the original Disney movie. Because Mulan does not have a happy ending.
Yes.
It's not a happy story.
Long story short, about the original Mulan movie, or story, or fable, I guess how would you say it, she kills herself, if I'm correct.
Yep. She was going to be a concubine of an emperor, and she refused to do so, so she killed herself.
Yes.
So
again,
like every other Disney movie,
yeah,
it's not a real happy ending.
Yes. Again, for people who don't know the original story of many of the Disney movies. Most of them end pretty dark.
Yeah, but that's getting sidetracked.
Yes.
But and you see the rise of Chinese actors and actresses, but they don't really talk. Like the Asian woman in Godzilla, or no, sorry, not Godzilla, but Kong.
Mm-hmm.
They called her a Chinese face because she just said it looked pretty, even though she did not say a whole lot. She was just said it looked pretty, and they had a sub story of her falling in love with the black guy, but they cut out all of that, and she was just there.
Mm-hmm.
Or you have just random Asian actors show up to the NBA, have a celebrity game. And it's like, who the fuck are they?
I think we're sidetracking there, friend.
Yeah, but let's go back on track. But China. But yeah, so I don't support China in any capacity. I try not to buy anything that's made in China, even though that's really, really hard. Back to the movie stuff. We make too many movies aimed for China, Asian population, LGBT, and just for money. There's no real art, and I agree with Martin Scorsese when he says superhero movies aren't real cinema.
Yes.
They are just action porn, and mainly for the Chinese. And so I don't really like modern blockbusters. I don't like Marvel. Cater too much.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I won't watch that new Chinese Marvel movie. Whatever, Shang-Chi. Won't watch it. Not really interested in it. Even Anthony Mackie, the guy who did Falcon for the Winter Soldier, basically said the same thing. We made movies for China and for I think he said from just money.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like even the top, well, not a top actor, but a decent actor says it's all for China.
Even he himself recognizes the issue of modern day films.
But here he is, still doing modern Marvel movies.
Yeah.
So
it depends how you want to see him. Either he's a hypocrite.
No, he's not a hypocrite. He just understands. He plays the game.
Okay.
You got to know the rules, but you still got to play the game.
Mm-hmm.
One man can't stand up to that. But we need more people that are not willing to hold hands with China, not to cave, take a knee to some political bullshit, not to cave in. So you just can't cave into China, cave into LGBT,
or just any catering
at all.
Yeah.
We need people like we need real filmmakers like Clint Eastwood, Martin Scorsese.
Yes.
Even Bradley Cooper made a movie that wasn't that big.
Which movie was it?
Silver
Lining?
Solo Star. He made another one, but
okay.
A Star is Born with Lady Gaga. But small movies. We need more independent movies. Movies that have meaning.
Yeah.
Or at least movies that actually entertain.
Yeah.
And aren't just boom, boom, bow.
Yeah.
Explosion. Sexy. Explosion. So we need more movies that aren't as pornographic, that are symbolized.
They need more plot. Not that kind of plot, but
they need better
actual plot.
Just better direction, better writing, better actors.
Or not that, even like budget films. Like films that have like really low budget are like much more creative.
Yeah.
Especially like when it comes like costume, maybe
they're more free.
Yeah, they're more free. Or not that. I think they're called pink films, if I'm correct.
You're talking about that's Japanese people.
Oh, sorry about that. Another topic. That's another topic. But films that like doesn't have a lot of budget, or it doesn't have a big budget, or anything like that. Sometimes those small budget films are like sometimes a lot better.
Because they had to work harder. Deadpool 1 was better than Deadpool 2.
Yeah.
Because smaller budget, they had to be more creative. Nobody's willing to be creative because they get shit ton of money.
Yeah. And also, it sort of false film of the movie sequels. Suck ass too.
Nobody wants to think for themselves.
Yeah.
It's like they all have to create movies that don't upset black people, don't upset China, that upset LGBT, but LGBT, like, it don't matter. they're such a small minority, and we shouldn't create stuff just to appease people.
Yeah.
Create stories that you want to see.
Mm-hmm.
You want to see LGBT, fine, that's fine, but don't
force them.
Don't let them force you to do it. You know, don't let Spike Lee talk shit about you just because you don't have black people in your movie.
Even if a movie is supposed to be historically accurate or whatever it may be, too.
Yeah.
Because even then, those movies are getting a lot of flack because they don't have black or Latinos or Latina or Latinx, however people want to say it now. So, you know, it's like historically accuracy. If you want to film based on history, then you sort of have to take everything with a grain of salt. That the people that are going to be acting in the film are going to be trying to be historically accurate as much as possible. Like most war films or anything like that, like World War II or whatever it may be, most of the films are predominantly white. And like, yes, there are some black soldiers, Asian soldiers, or whatever it may be, and then
but they were segregated.
Yes, they were segregated, but it depends on the director too. At the end of the day, if they wanted to introduce them like in a different movie, or not that, if it's like a specific company or branch or military, whatever it may be, that had them by chance, then you can introduce them.
But they want historical accuracy should come first.
Yes.
And I think that's it for that topic before we go too far.
Mm-hmm.